A Navy jet pitches into a dive on a strafing run at a training range in North Carolina. A short burst and a hail of bullets. The pilot pulls out of his dive at 2,000 feet, a sharp turn creating a force 6 times that of gravity. Pilots call it pulling G's. To me, in the back seat, it feels like being crushed. But the worst of it only lasts for about 5 seconds.
The 6 G's masses you pretty good, but it beats the alternative, which is running into the ground.
Strafing, a low-level run firing 6-inch bullets instead of dropping 1,000-pound bombs from on high, was a common tactic in World War II and in movies like Empire of the Sun. But it gave way to the shock and awe of more destructive precision-guided weapons. Now, with the urgent need to reduce civilian casualties in Afghanistan, strafing is making a 21st century comeback.
Since General McChrystal took over in Afghanistan, we've devoted significant more training to strafe.
Captain Ken Weitzel's F-18 squadrons are preparing for their next tour over Afghanistan, and CBS News spent 2 days flying with them. Hundreds of bullets are loaded into the nose, turning Lieutenant Commander Jason Gustin's $60 million jet into a flying machine gun.
We expect the bullets to come out of the gun to be within about 30 feet from where we point the muzzle on the ground.
That's about the same accuracy as a laser or satellite-guided bomb. But look at the difference between the blast effects of a bomb and a strafing run in Afghanistan.
But what about the danger to you flying that close to the ground?
We are closer to the enemy, so we're in range for small arms such as machine guns and assault rifles. But our biggest risk is probably flying into the terrain.
Gustin has flown strafing missions in Afghanistan, but it's a skill that requires constant practice. Normally, he would get help from his backseater, but not on this ride. It's a short hop from Oceana Naval Air Station in Virginia Beach down to the training range. On the way, the pilots check each other out.
Typically right after we take off, we'll just give each other a quick once-over and make sure there's nothing wrong with the airplane, like didn't hit a bird you didn't know about on takeoff.
Then a few turns to get our bodies used to the G-forces.
I'm wearing a pair of inflatable jeans, which act like a blood pressure stuff and inflate to keep all my blood from draining into my feet. Because if it drains into my feet, then I black out.
On the first day, we run into the limitations of strafing. Weather. The target is covered in clouds.
Honestly, it's a visual weapon. And a day like today, if our target was where it is in Afghanistan, probably strafe isn't something we're going to be able to use effectively.
If you can't strafe, there's always what's called a show of force, a high-speed, low-level run to scare the enemy away.
All right, right now we're about 750 feet.
A tactic used more than 4,000 times a year in Afghanistan. On the second day, nothing but blue skies.
Sir, you're cleared to go hot whenever you want to.
Gustin noses into the dive.
38 hits, sir.
That helmet he's wearing has a computer which projects the target onto the inside of his visor.
And I'm going to go ahead and select high rate of fire for this last one.
The number of bombs dropped in Afghanistan is steadily decreasing, but strafing runs remain constant at more than 1,000 each year. The old-fashioned tactic of strafing is becoming the weapon of choice. David Martin, CBS News with Fighter Attack Squadron 211.